Racism was powerful for me because I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I was being treated differently and that I was considered to be other. Very first elementary school was Gifford, and to go from West Side Chicago, predominantly black school, all black class, all black teachers, to a school with mostly white students, mostly white faculty, and the culture around that was stark. Me, I felt like they were having adult conversations. I felt like they talked about things that weren't important to us. We talked about candy, we talked about the struggle, we talked about being able to have a meal from one day to the next, where you could go to get a meal, what cousin's house or what friend's house you can go to. Those weren't their conversations. They knew that at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, some of my friends ate early. They knew that the meal would be there, etc. Our conversation was around how to get your clothes washed and how to get some more clothes if you ran out of clothes, how to fix your clothes, patch your clothes, sew your clothes if you had problems with them. Their conversations weren't that. Their conversations were, of course, my clothes are what they are. They're what they need to be. You need some clothes, you talk to your mother, your father about getting some more. My thought was, that's not a realistic scenario for somebody like me.
What does that mean for you? Can you kind of sketch out what that looks like?
It looks like a kid who either can't properly express himself, or a kid who expresses himself and that is deemed as wrong. It's deemed as inappropriate, or using this slang, these different terms. Those have no value here in school. Ain't isn't a word, etc., etc. And that was like a slap in the face to me to hear that from a teacher. That would be certainly one of those specific examples that came up too often, probably still does. For a teacher to bear down on a young child and say, ain't isn't a word, and you shouldn't use that, and that's inappropriate, and that means that you aren't educated, is to not only slap that child in the face, but to slap every other person in that child's life whose opinions they value and whose respect level they are wishing to gain in the face as well. It's a slap to a very large group of people, because people who mean a lot more to them than that teacher taught them that that's not only the thing to say, but it's okay to say it. And so for that teacher to fly in the face of that, it means not only is that child less, but everybody who taught them the way is less. So then you got this rude awakening of a choice to make. Do I disregard my parents, or do I disregard this teacher and everything that comes with this teacher?
And what did you choose?
Oh, I tried to ride the fence for a while, straddle. I mean, when you're at home having your parents tell you that, school is the way and teachers are the way, and then you're at school and they're telling you that, this culture that you come out of can only be valued if it looks more like this culture I'm presenting to you. There's this whole, choice that they present you with as a young black child.
How many schools did you go to?
Oh, well, probably more than 5, less than 10, between elementary school and high school level. Yeah, probably more. Yeah, more than 5, less than 10.
So why were you going from a different school to different school?
It was the sort of thing that our economic situation was always in flux. There would be times when my mother would have a good job and other times she wouldn't. Early on in my life, my mother and my stepfather were together and they were a couple. When they split, things got hard fast for her. A kid, a job isn't my focus. School at least should be, but a job was my focus because I had, little jobs here and there that would pay me, helping friends pack up furniture, move stuff as, once I got a little older, a little bigger. I had a paper route, stuff like that. All things that kept me focused on money and not school, because school makes sense in the long term. School's an abstract thing when you're a concrete thinker and you're a concrete person. And concrete for an 8-year-old looks like, what do you eat?